Welcome on in here. It's first pitch time. No place you'd rather be than breaking down some baseball with the WagerTalk experts. And 2 of the 4-day games are going on now. I hope you didn't take any first 5 unders in those. But we had plenty other games to get into. We're going to be talking a little O's versus Padres, Astros, Marlins, Cleveland taking on Cincinnati, the Dodgers hosting the Brewers, the A's visiting the Cards, and Tampa Bay in San Francisco. We're going to have plays on each and every one of those for you here, so don't go anywhere. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, joined today by Jeff Michaels, Adam Trigger, and Jimmy Adams. And Trig, the chat was already blaming you for our tardiness, saying, stop painting the damn house, man. It's looking good, though, behind you, I will say, brother. So, guys, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe. We appreciate it here. Make sure you hop in the comments. We love hearing from you. Let's get right into it, boys. Let's start off with Jeff Michaels, who was just recording Fact or Cap to get you ready for the NFL season with his pops, Ralph Michaels and Kelly Stewart. That's going to be here on the WagerTalk TV YouTube channel. But let's take a look at the Guardians and Reds. And your Cleveland Guardians, brother, they're looking to make it 3 straight. They're looking to get that 2-game sweep in that ultra important set there in Cincy. So I guess, do they do it? Do they get those things done? What does Jeff Michaels think?
Yeah, Dan, I feel like I come on the show a lot and I rip on your Philadelphia teams or whatever teams you may be a fan of at the moment. But today, I wanted to talk Guardians. They're playing Cincinnati today, and in this situation, to be honest, I'm on the underdog. And it wasn't because it was Cleveland. It was because betting a run line price here and getting decent value at first I saw was minus 125. I think it's at minus 135 now. But 40%, nearly 40% of the combined games between these two teams have been decided by 1 run. Cincinnati has the most in the league, 48 games decided by 1 run, and Cleveland's in second with 45. So getting a value here, getting a team on the run line I'm surprised that Cincinnati is this big of a favorite, but you mentioned it, Cleveland's on a run. They're actually on a 7-game streak since we're talking about the run line here. I know I'm not, I wish it was a 7-game streak, but we're talking about the run line here, and the road teams had a big edge in this series. So I like Cleveland on the run line tonight.
I love it. I like the breakdown, and I'm also glad you didn't come on here and find a way to, crap on one of my Philadelphia teams. We'll have plenty of time for that. We have much more first pitch to come here in the coming weeks. Chef Jack Michaels out. WT.buzz/JMS. Trig, going to you, brother. A's and Cards. Speaking of the sweep, Cards going for the sweep today. Looks like they'll have Liberatore on the mound, but it's a big price, man. Are we chomping on the chalk here? We need some water to wash it down. How are you betting this A's and Cards game?
Well, yeah. So, Dan, first of all, if I was going to bet this game, if I was going to make a play in just the game itself, it would be Cardinals money line. Obviously, it's pricey at this point. So I guess with big game breakdown, I try to sort of pick a game that I think I can provide some insight in that might like help you along the way more than just this game. So yeah, listen, if you're going to bet this game, I would use the Cardinals in some fashion. No one really wants to lay minus 180, but maybe, parlay it, do something with it. I don't know. This is not a client play for me. I don't typically like to lay the 1.5, in spots like this, especially with the home team. But I really do like the Cardinals. And so what I'm going to talk about here for big game breakdown is just the Cardinals in general. And if you want the other end of the spectrum, a nice bet that you could potentially sprinkle some big time, that's a big time underdog. I would give a look at the Cardinals possibly making the playoffs, or kind of I guess the same thing, sneaking into that last wild card spot, because they're only 8.5 games back, Dan, and their schedule is very favorable, especially in the coming week and a half or so. They play the A's today, as you've already mentioned. They've sort of dominated this series to this point, going for the sweep. They have the Mets in town for 4, and then they go to Pittsburgh for 3. So a very manageable, they've already won 5 of their last 6, And now they have a very manageable 8-game stretch, ahead of them. Since the All-Star break, the Cardinals are one of the best offensive teams in baseball. Their team OPS is 817. It's 5th in the league. Everyone on this team is hitting the ball. I talked about this last week when we did first pitch. I said, this feels like a team that's all of a sudden like gonna sort of respond with no expectations, right? They waved the white flag to an extent, trading Flaherty away and moving to Young, and I thought that they would start to sort of play well in just because okay, everyone's given up on us at this point, no pressure, and that's exactly what's happened. 5-1 over the last week or so. And Nolan Arenado's playing it like an MVP candidate at this point, which is what I kind of thought he was going to be at the beginning of the year. I'm still, invested in Cardinals to win the National League, to win the World Series from prior to the season starting. In this matchup, Dan, if you remember last week, I was on first pitch breaking down Cardinals Rays. And I said, you know what? There's no baseball like evidence to support this is going to be the case. But I had a feeling Matthew Liberatore was going to pitch well because he was getting a second chance. He had gotten shelled at AAA. He got killed earlier this season when he was up in the big leagues. There was no reason that he might have a good game against the Rays, but sometimes a second chance will do that for you. And he took advantage of it. 8 scoreless innings. It was arguably the best start of his entire career. Velocity up. He looked awesome. I mean, hey, could it have just been one of those days where he was just on fire? Maybe, but I'll tell you, he was a young guy that kind of got rushed up to the big leagues a little bit, and maybe he's just making the best of a second chance. I think he could potentially pitch well again today, and I don't think he's going to pitch poorly enough to lose the Cardinals this game. Paul Blackburn's a guy I've talked about on shows a couple times over the last few weeks. I thought he was building to a bad start. Unfortunately, I guess for us, and as it pertains to betting this game, the bad start kind of came last time out against the Nationals. Got the loss, but it wasn't a horrible start. Went 5.2 innings, gave up 4 runs, did take the loss to the Nats. But I still don't know that it's fully reflected in the number here. Like, I think there could be further, sort of struggles or regression for Blackburn. It was just something I felt like was coming based on a stretch of starts where I feel like he didn't necessarily have great stuff, but also his opponent didn't make him pay for it. Well, Cardinals hitters are making everyone pay for any mistake that gets thrown up there right now. As I said, for the Cardinals is just red hot top to bottom. So listen, if you can stomach minus 175, minus 180, there's worse things that you could bet on this board. Didn't make my client card at that price, but I certainly think the Cardinals continue to win as the A's are just a historically bad team. And the Cardinals need every game right now, Dan. They really don't have the luxury of overlooking any opponent, even an opponent they could potentially sweep in their current situation. So I do think the Cardinals probably win today. I think if you wanted to take a chance on some big time plus money, they're 8.5 out right now, Dan. It's the 16th of August. It's still a lot of baseball to be played. And the Cardinals' schedule is, at least in the short term, is one of the weakest. If I'll define short term, Dan, as August today, the 16th till September. They have a very manageable schedule where I would not be at all surprised if we get to September 1st when it's all on the line for all these teams and the Cardinals are in the mix in that NL wildcard race. But as far as today is concerned, Cardinals money line is the way I would go in this game. And I would just stomach having to, lay some juice to get there.
Man, it is quite a take there from our man Adam Trigger. I know what our question of the day is to answer below in the comments. It's playoffs or not for the Cards. Take a look at their schedule. Trig making a case for some potential plus money as they're 8 games back. The Cards to make the playoffs, yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. Jimmy Adams is with us as well. He's on an 8-2 MLB top play run. That's 4%ers or higher. So he's seeing it well when he's putting the big lumber down. He wants to take a look at the Orioles and Padres. So where are we going? Big game breakdown, Jimmy.
Let's go to Petco Park for today's big game breakdown as the Orioles and Padres wrap up their 3-game set. And look, the Orioles have been underpriced in the betting market all season long. As of Tuesday night, they have 74 wins, the most in the AL, just a few behind the Braves. Good company there. and they find themselves in the underdog role again against one of the most underachieving teams in the league this season. If it wasn't for the Mets, there'd be a whole lot more people talking about how bad the Padres have been. So the O's will turn to Dean Crane, who enters in good form. 2 earned in 7 innings last time out against a good Houston offense. Not more than 3 runs in any of his past 4 starts. And the Orioles have won the last 7 times he's taken the mound and 10 of the past 11. When he exits, we also know that Baltimore's a strong bullpen, a top 5 bullpen in baseball, so we can feel comfortable there. So yes, Blake Snell's been very good, but his 3.74 FIP is more than a full run higher than his ERA, and the walks have been absolutely out of control. Snell has walked 24 batters in his last 5 games, at least 4 in each start. It's just been horrendous. He can't keep stranding runners forever, and Baltimore is a team that will punish mistakes. So just ask yourself, do you think the Padres should be laying chalk against the team with the best record in the AL? The answer is probably no. My recommendation is going to be with the Orioles for today's big game breakdown.
I like it. Just ask yourself. Asking people to look themselves in the mirror is our man Jimmy Adams for his big game breakdown, his best bet coming right around the corner. But we have 2 other to get into before that. And for that, we swing it back on up to first base. We got Jeff Michaels standing there with a player prop for us. It's been all sides, all totals, but you want to talk a little Mookie bets for your best bet here. Brewers, Dodgers. It's the nightcap. Could be the get back for us. What are you thinking, Jeff?
Yeah, 3 names come to mind. You look at this Dodgers lineup recently, obviously you got your big 2, Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts up there. And then you got Miguel Rojas, who has obviously made an impact here recently. But Betts and Rojas have been the difference makers against lefties without question. I mean, and Freeman's gone 3 straight games that he's gone hitless. But, the main reason here that I'm going with Mookie Betts, and I'm going with total bases here tonight, is because of his history against Wade Miley. I mean, he's 9 for 19. That's a .474 batting average against Miley in his career. 5 extra base hits. 4 of them are doubles, and he does have a home run as well. And he's absolutely dominated lefties, especially when you compare it to his splits against right-handed pitchers. I mean, he's got a 1.077 OPS against lefties this season. He's gone over his 1.5 total base number in 5 out of the last 6 at home and 6 out of the last 7 against left-handed pitchers. So, Betts isn't somebody that is looking to really turn things around right now. He's rolling hot. He's got another lefty in his way, and it's a left-handed pitcher that he has confidence against. I mean, he's gone over this number in 10 out of his 13 games that he's played in August so far this year, and he's averaged 2.5 total bases per game that Miley started. So you're getting it at -105 here, and I really do like a lot of people jump on those hits, runs, and RBI props, myself included, because it gives you multiple ways to win, basically. You can get it with 2 hits. You can get it with the run and the RBI. And I really like these total bases, actually, because it gets you that same idea here, too. Because we don't need Mookie Betts to hit a double or a home run here, although he obviously can. He's shown that against Wade Miley. He's shown that against nearly every pitcher in the league. But you can get 2 singles here and go 2 for 4 and rack up 2 total bases that way too. So we don't need the long ball, but he's obviously capable of it if it comes down to 1 at bat. But his history against Miley and his success against lefties this year, getting over 1.5 total bases at just -105 for bets tonight. Definitely my best bet. And that's actually a premium play over at WagerTalk today, too.
Man of the people, Jeff Michaels dropping a little premium play on the way out. Mookie Betts over the 1.5 this evening on the total bases, only -105. And check out Jeff Michaels. Make sure you're subscribed here to WagerTalk TV, because fact or cap, breaking down things that are true or untrue when talking about handicapping the NFL. Some of the biggest falsehoods broken down statistically by Jeff Michaels, the stat prince and the stat king himself, his father, Ralph Michaels. Wow, the pen. He had it ready. He had it ready to go. Appreciate it, Jeff, and best of luck on those plays. Check him out at wagertalk.com. Trig, want to get your best bet here in this Rays and San Fran game, because this one's going a little bit over an hour from now. This is one of the day games, and this series, brother, all about the blowouts. What, it was 10-2 on game one. Then the Giants bounced back. They shut them out 7-0. So is it just that easy? Just pick the team that's going to blow them out, lay -1.5, or are you going to bet this a different way?
Well, I never lay -1.5, Dan, so I'm definitely not going to do that. But I hope I'm picking the right team to win here. And this is also a 4% play for me. It's my only play today in Major League Baseball, so you're getting it here for free. I'm on the San Francisco Giants, laid the money line, which is somewhere in the -110 to -115 range. I think it's probably up around -115 now, and that's perfectly fine. It's really more of a play against the Rays in a lot of cases. I think they're a team that's kind of, they're just in a little bit of a disarray right now. Of course, Wander Franco's been out of the lineup since Saturday, highly publicized, with him and the whole investigation that's surrounding him. Can't exactly be great for, in terms of it's probably a distraction. And certainly not having Franco on the field is tough, that he's one of their better players. Shane McClanahan finds out he's going to be done for not only this year, but next year as well. He's going to have Tommy John surgery. So those are, things that just not good for the morale of the team right now. That might be something, Dan, if this was a team that had been struggling, like maybe it's weird. Like sometimes that type of stuff galvanizes a team, but in the Rays case, I don't know that that's going to be the case. Like, remember, go back to April, May, and June, just how far ahead of everyone else this Rays team was. And so to see them come back to the pack and then struggle and then lose one of their top pitchers, lose a guy like Franco, who's been one of their better players all year, I just think that might be a little bit difficult to overcome. And it's certainly going to be tough to overcome on the road. Like in the middle of a West Coast road trip, this is not the last city. They've got to get out to Anaheim after this game. And so I just think that stuff sort of piling up and then having to play like a getaway day type game where they've got to then travel after today just does not set up well for the Rays here. And of course, we could have some carryover from last night. 7-0, totally lethargic, managed just 3 hits against a combination of Sean Manaea and Jacob Junis. That's not very good either, Dan. Those are not names that should be combining for a 3-hit shutout right there. Another thing I do like because of that sort of blowout last night for the Giants, this is a Giants team that hadn't hit at all with runners in scoring position. Now they get a little bit of offense going, so I think that could potentially swing their offense in the other direction. And also because it was a blowout, they basically were able to, they had no high leverage relief innings, and they really didn't have to burn any top reliever, which I think is going to be very helpful for the way this game is going to set up for the Giants. So they're going to go with a bullpen game, but it's a specific bullpen game in the respect that Ryan Walker is going to be the starter. He's made 9 starts this year in the opener role. The Giants are 7-2 when he's the opener. And as the opener, he has a 2.40 ERA this season. He actually just opened the game on Monday, 2 scoreless innings, struck out 4 Rays. So he was very dominant in that performance. And Dan, he's really been dominant regardless, like opener, out of the bullpen, just 1 run in his last 13 innings pitched. So he's sort of on a roll. I think he sets the tone here. And then I think it's going to shape up nicely for the Giants to have top bullpen arm after top bullpen arm should they be able to get a lead. I think they're able to sort of maintain that lead. On the other side, Aaron Savale, guy, I kind of had him circled as a fade. This is going to be his 3rd start in a Rays uniform. He was traded recently from the Guardians. Not particularly great in either outing so far in a Rays uniform. 9 innings pitched, 5 runs conceded. Hasn't worked real deep into either game. And you know what? The Giants, maybe a 7-0 win is what they needed to sort of get that offense going. That's been hitting under 200 with runners in scoring position for the past 10 games or so. The Giants are 35-27 at home this year, have been far better, at home than on the road. So I just think all of that sort of adds up to this being a really good spot for the Giants. And the price was right, -110, -1. I think you're getting kind of a bargain there with everything sort of stacking up in the Giants' favor. So 4% play, San Francisco Giants on the money line is my best bet for the show and my only client play for Wednesday in Major League Baseball.
These guys just giving away client plays like crazy here on First Pitch. And if you're watching live, we appreciate you doing so. We love you hopping in that comment section, either whether it's live or after. We had John X checking in. He didn't know that it was Halloween here in August, as I got a little Joker vibe going on here today with the slightly green hair that I'm rocking. So I asked you, John, if you want to know how I got these scars. Guys, the other thing that stood out to me from the comments here was Oscar 87. He was in the chat asking anybody else on Houston at the pick'em price having Verlander on the mound. Well, Oscar, you came to the right place because Jimmy Adams has a best bet on this Astros and Marlins game. Take it away, Jim.
All right, so we're going to get to today's best bet. But first off, let me just tell you what I got going. I was the $2 Tuesday handicapper yesterday. That's still available. 5% NFL best bet for week 1. Grab that for just $2. We're also on an 8-2 run with our top MLB plays. Those are plays rated 4% or higher. I've got one of those going down this evening as well. So for today's best bet, we're headed to Miami as the Marlins and Astros face off one more time. Recently, we've seen the Astros have many chances to convert with runners in scoring position, at least in their last few losses, oftentimes failing to bring the runner home. This is something that happens in baseball. It's going to even out, especially with a lineup that is as potent as Houston has. And they have a great chance to put up a crooked number tonight with the way Jesus Luzardo's been pitching. 7 earned last time out for Luzardo, who couldn't make it out of the 4th inning, and 4 earned in each of the 2 starts prior. So something's off with him. I don't know what's going on exactly with Luzardo, but he is a fade pitcher at the moment. He has a very high barrel percentage. He has a hard hit rate of 42.7%. And then we have Justin Verlander. Look, he's happy to be back home, and he's been pitching great for a while now. 9 straight starts for Verlander without allowing more than 3 earned, including the 2 quality outings since he's been back in Houston. A good chase rate, WOBA of 280 on the season, all things that we're looking to bet on, especially with that strong Houston offense behind him. I'm just not a believer in Miami. I know they've been able to put together some wins lately, but these come from behind and these 1-run wins, I think they're a team that is going to fade down the stretch. But we're only worried about tonight. Look, we've got the better team with Verlander on the mound, a better bullpen against a pitcher that's been rocked in his last 3 starts. Take the Astros for today's best bet.
Better team, better bullpen, pick 'em price, all of that adding up to Houston being the best bet for our man Jimmy Adams there. So question answered, and we appreciate you tuning in here. That's going to do it for another edition of First Pitch here. Big thanks to my guest Jeff Michaels, Adam Trigger, and of course Jimmy Adams. If you need some more info on MLB, why not check out WagerTalk today? Also, you'll get a little bit of college football, a little NFL preseason, as Adam Trigger was a guest there as well. So a little double action for you here only on WagerTalk TV.